This spawn is not only made for mages, it's also very good for paladins. Here's my video for the Oramond Minotaurs. As I was leveling up, I kept seeing people recommend the Oramond Minotaurs. I didn't know what these monsters were, but I decided to give it a chance, and oh boy, they hit like a truck. I was around level 90 the first time I went, and since it was a new server at the time, my skills were also pretty low, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. After getting destroyed in the first 10 minutes, I decided to give up on this spawn, thinking it just wasn't worth it. And I was so run, oh so run. I didn't go until much later on when I was level 170, and it was an entirely different scenario this time. That doesn't mean you gotta wait until that level to come, but I would recommend to wait at least until level 120 to hunt properly. A big difference besides the levels and the skills is that the spawn wasn't overcrowded anymore, because when I went the first time there were at least 10 mages SD around, so there was no room to hunt properly. But by this time, the server had gotten a bit older and there were not that many lower levels anymore, so getting the spawn empty wasn't so hard, and because of that I realized how good it can be. Even if there is other people hunting here, it's not necessarily going to affect the hunt, since almost everyone hunts by single target, hence the spawn can technically be shared if people are respectful. A good thing to check if there is other people hunting here, especially low level mages, is the bodies of the monsters, as most of the time people that are PG and a mage won't even loot anything, or in some cases even normal people don't care too much to loot. But let's move on by getting out of the way the common questions. This is an old recording, and at the time there was no quick loot, analyzer, rapid spawn, and it was also a new server, so equipment has its limitations. Despite this, I was making roughly 500k on 100% at the normal spawn and 600k on the east side, while making profit on every hunt. I don't remember how much to be exact, but it should have been somewhere around the 100k. Leaving that aside, we're going to start talking about the normal spawn first, which to get to, all you gotta do is travel from the east to Oramond and take the slime glide, and that's it. That's how easy Tibia can be sometimes. Going down the stairs, if the spawn is empty, there will be a few Minotaurs right away, which might make it harder depending on your level. Play it safe and use the stair hop until you kill all the monsters, and then you can start moving around. There's no special route that you should follow, because nowadays with the rapid spawn you can pretty much hunt on just a small part of the spawn. You can either go back and forth on either of these two arrows or just do a circle like this. I recommend to take the routes every time you see them. The reason behind this is in order to start collecting some Oramond points, which will become handy later on. Wouldn't bother too much with it now, but it does help to start getting these done, since all you gotta do is click them and you don't even have to keep the routes that you get in your backpack. If you wish to go to the Oramond city without the 300 points required to the shortcut, you gotta run through these Minotaurs every time and enter this teleport. This will lead you to the outside of the city, and from there you gotta follow this path. If you follow this route instead, you get to the next part of the spawn, which is the east side Minotaurs. In here you will find a lot of warriors, especially going down the stairs. These are pretty weak, but make the hunt somehow more messy, since you gotta kite them, which in turn make it so that you end up luring more ranged monsters most of the time. And in general, there is more monsters per pull on this particular spawn, so you might want to hold on for some levels before coming here. I think anywhere around level 140 will do fine. As for the common spawn, I will wait until level 120 when you get a rift bow. If you have a bow of destruction, it's not a big deal, but the rift bow has one more range, which makes it possible to kite even the ranged monsters if you want to, just by keeping the monsters one square away from the normal range, which makes them attack less often. If you hunt onto the east side of the spawn, you should stick to these slabs. A few things to know about this spawn is where each stairs leads to. The one further southwest is not really worth doing ever unless you are doing one task that I will talk about soon. The one in the center also leads you to the area where most tasks take place, but a good thing to try out before leaving the spawn is using this glider. If enough bolts have been used on the Minotaur shortcut, this will lead you straight up to the city, so try it out. The one to the northeast leads you to the high class Minotaurs, which is a much harder spawn that I will talk about in a separate video, and you shouldn't go there under level 150. These tasks that I keep talking about are quite uncommon and people don't tend to do them, but it's a good thing to know what they're about, and in case you feel like doing this, since the most common tasks like the picking routes or the communications tasks can be really annoying to do as well. First head to Terrence, and you should always pick the mission of killing Minos, saying hi, killing Minor, and for this you need to kill 100 Minotaurs in total of warriors, hunters, and priestess. Make it a habit of picking this quest every time you go to a hunt. This NPC also gives you the other two tasks. First, there's the Sabotage Mission. To do this, head to the stairs in the center of the spawn and go up twice. Beware that there will be high class Minotaurs on the floor, and it will be difficult, which is part of why people don't bother doing this. But let's assume you're around level 170 and this is easier for you. Head to the middle of this floor and click on this to receive a cup of cocoa. Drop it to the ground and get another one. Repeat this until you have 4. It's important to drop them on the ground or else you won't be able to get a new one. Once you have all 4, run back to the spawn fast since it has a 3-minute time limitation before each expires, and use them on the armor racks located to the south. There is 4 racks on the main floor, but there's also another one on the southwest stair that I mentioned before. After you destroy all these, report to the NPC for 1 body point. The next task is called Supplies. You can report this task to Terrence, but don't necessarily need to talk to him before starting it. Head to the same spot of the cocoa cups and move a bit to the east. Once you see this box, click it and then go down the stairs twice. Use the box on the water. Do not throw it manually. Just click use, and once it goes into water like this, head up and pick a new one. Repeat this for a total of 10 times and then report your task. And that's it. There wasn't much to talk about the spawns because they're easy to understand and hunt. As for the tasking and the bonding points, it's good to work on them because once you reach 150 points, you will be able to sell the creature products and item drops of the Minotaurs to the NPC. And if you get 300 points, you will be able to use the slime glide at the start to head up straight to the city and skip running through the Minotaurs. One last tip before ending the video is to check up the price on the market for the Muthal shells because these are needed for the sword imbuement.